Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. Hold on to your hats because the NFL offseason just threw a curveball that could redefine the NFC West, and more importantly, how the Seahawks approach their Super Bowl ambitions. Rumors are swirling around a potential blockbuster trade that could send Ja'Marr Chase, one of the most explosive wide receivers in the league, from the Cincinnati Bengals to our Seahawks. And believe me, this isn't just some idle speculation. Sources close to the league, including some pretty reputable insiders, suggest that this move could be on the horizon, and it's a game changer. Let's get into the details because this is a story that could reshape Seattle's offense in a way we haven't seen in years. The Bengals, as many of you know, are in a bit of a financial crunch right now. They're facing a negative cap situation of around $15 million and are in the process of rebuilding after a disappointing 7-10 season in 2025. Their defense, which struggled all year, was giving up around 26 points per game, and the offense, despite the talent, couldn't consistently put points on the board when it mattered most. Cincinnati has some tough decisions to make, and one of them might be parting ways with Chase, whom they see as both a franchise talent and a luxury they might need to shed to get under the cap and focus on rebuilding that offensive line. The proposed deal would send Chase to Seattle in exchange for a first-round pick in 2026 and a third-rounder in 2027. That's a hefty price, but when you consider what Chase brings to the table, a game-breaking, speedster wideout with a rare ability to make contested catches and turn short plays into big gains, it starts to make more sense. The Seahawks, with a solid cap space of around $65 million, are in a prime position to make this happen. And the timing couldn't be better, especially with the injury to Tyler Lockett, who's been battling injuries lately, and our offense desperately needs that deep threat element that Chase would bring. Now, for those who might not be familiar with Chase's recent performance, he's been absolutely lights out in 2025. Over the course of this past season, he racked up 118 receptions for 542 yards and 14 touchdowns. He averaged 6 yards per route run, targeting at a rate of over 31%, and his contested catch rate was an impressive 66%. That's a guy who can go up and get the ball against even the tightest coverage, which is exactly what Seattle's offense needs to elevate its game. His yards after catch average is 6.5 yards per reception, showing his ability to turn a quick pass into a big gain after the catch. His PFF receiving grade has hovered around a lofty 93.8, and he's been a consistent big play threat, with 26 plays of 20 yards or more. And remarkably, he only dropped 3 passes all season. That kind of reliability and explosiveness is rare, especially for a player just entering his prime. Remember, Chase burst onto the scene in 2021 and quickly became a household name. He's accumulated over 800 yards receiving and scored 56 touchdowns in just a few seasons, with minimal injury issues, only missing 2 games in 2025 due to a hip contusion. His speed rivals Tyreek Hill's, and he's been known to rival Hill's impact, especially in boosting his quarterback's performance. His highlight reel includes multiple games with over 250 yards receiving, and his ability to stretch defenses opens up so many possibilities for a quarterback like Geno Smith, who's been working to elevate his deep ball accuracy and overall game. Now, why would Cincinnati be willing to part with Chase? Well, for starters, their cap situation makes it difficult to keep him long-term at a $36 million price tag. Cincinnati is also juggling extensions for T. Higgins, which complicates things further. Their offense ranked just 15th overall last season, with a PFF grade of 79.8, and Burrow's turnover-worthy plays have increased, which adds some urgency to their rebuild efforts. They're focusing on rebuilding their defensive line and investing in young offensive linemen in the upcoming draft to better protect Joe Burrow and create a more balanced attack. They're likely viewing Chase's high salary as a luxury they can't afford right now, especially with a deep draft class full of talented linemen and other offensive pieces that could help rebuild their offense and keep costs down. For Seattle, though, this potential move is a total game changer. With around $65 million in cap space, we're in a prime position to make a splash. Chase would not only fill the void left by Lockett's injury, who's expected to miss the entire season with an Achilles tear, but he would also significantly boost our aerial attack. Currently, the Seahawks averaged around 228 passing yards per game in 2025, but with Chase on the roster, those numbers could skyrocket to around 315 yards per game. That's a 23% increase in expected efficiency per target, which could transform our offense into one of the most explosive in the league. When you add Chase's ability to stretch the field alongside Metcalf, it creates a nightmare matchup for any defensive backfield. Metcalf, with his 92 PFF grade, is already a dominant force, but pairing him with a receiver like Chase would open up so many mismatches. Yards after catch is another area where Chase excels. His YAC average is up to 6.5 yards per catch, and that would give our offense an extra dimension of quick strikes and extended drives. His speed and route-running ability mean defenses would have to respect the deep ball, which in turn could open up more underneath routes for Smith-Njigba and other targets. The potential for big plays would increase dramatically, and I believe we'd see a reduction in three-and-outs, which have been a lingering issue at times. This kind of offensive explosion mirrors what we saw in 2025 when Metcalf and Lockett combined to boost Seahawks' aerial yards by over 200 yards a game, transforming Geno Smith's deep passing game into a real threat that defenses couldn't handle. Looking ahead, this move could even propel the Seahawks into Super Bowl contention faster than many anticipate. Chase's presence is a true X-factor, especially in the playoffs where contested catches and clutch plays make all the difference. He's been a consistent performer in big moments, and with a team that has a solid defense, including the rising star Walker III and a balanced offense, the Seahawks could elevate their odds dramatically. Betting odds for the Seahawks to win Super Bowl LX could jump from around plus 2,500 to as low as plus 900 if this trade materializes, according to some betting models. That's a huge shift, and it reflects the kind of explosive potential Chase would bring to this squad. Of course, Cincinnati is likely to be cautious, weighing the long-term benefits of rebuilding versus the immediate gains of trading Chase. But for Seattle, this is the kind of move that could turn the tide of an entire franchise. Imagine a Seahawks offense with Geno Smith throwing to a duo of Metcalf and Chase, both capable of making contested catches, creating mismatches against even the best NFC West defenses like Rams, 49ers, or Cardinals. It's not hard to see how this could elevate Seattle's standing and make us serious contenders again, especially in a division that's constantly evolving and full of talented teams. In the end, this potential trade isn't just about acquiring a star receiver. It's about signaling a clear intent to compete at the highest level, to build a dynasty that's known for its aerial assault and explosive plays. Chase's addition would cement Seattle's position as a team that's not just looking to make the playoffs, but to dominate and chase that elusive Lombardi trophy. It's an exciting time to be a Seahawks fan, and while nothing is set in stone yet, the mere possibility of Chase donning the blue and green has fans buzzing with anticipation. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you guys think? Is this the kind of move that could push Seattle over the top and back into Super Bowl contention? Would Chase's speed and playmaking ability be enough to make us a nightmare for NFC defenses? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop your comments below and tell me if you think this trade is a game changer. As always, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and news on the Seahawks. Stay tuned, stay loud, and let's keep that Seahawks spirit alive. We're heading into an exciting offseason, and who knows, maybe the biggest move of all is just around the corner. Thanks for riding with me, and as always, go Seahawks.